So it's in view views from the area where
I was last.
we were last, which is the end of the
Last video.
the macro and micro cycles, and we've gone through. We didn't really even touch the monocycles of language, which there again are the ways of describing these densities and the way that we're operating in now, the language, integer. So then the entropy escaped into living organisms at this point, which is lithotrophs, which are feeding on the material decay. So we've gone through the comets, the moons, the aquas, the auras, the stars. That's that whole cycle. And then you have the light that's emitted from that star, the photonic energy, which is one of the cycles of the energy of the star cycle, becomes food for. So entropy escapes through the sunlight into the chemical decay of rocks and the plants or the animals that can photosynthesize. So there's photosynthesis, there's lithotrophs, which will feed on the decay of rocks and use energy from that to create their own cycles of life. So this is a whole evolution, another density up from the well, it's a different expression, a different pathway of experience. So this is where this has happened many times within the cosmos, and different every possible expression is happening simultaneously. So at certain points things are in different stages, and we're in one stage, a particular stage, and within this stage there, to the point where we have got to this point, we have also branched from a region of the cosmos where there are fixed principles of time and space and energy, and we are now experiencing the expression that's happened at those levels. Okay, and then above the levels where we are, there are other expressions that, by the cycles that are happening in this region of the cosmos, they are by that nature nourished, in as much as what happens in this area of our cosmos affects what is potentials are available in the next region of the cosmos above, that's happening simultaneously as well. So within our mainstream existence there are streams parallel that include different energy cycles within our own. So there's a whole so these are also evolving, and these are things, these are technologies that can be used to travel within regions of the cosmos, and between densities of the cosmos, so between dimensions of the cosmos. So you can use these energies or these principles to explore certain technologies, and that is worth exploring as a group and as individual. And I think the more people that are practicing that, the more powerful it could possibly be, which is why I don't think there needs to be any horrible events. I think there's plenty of people in the world right now that could be definitely very powerful in developing the frequencies or enhancing the range of frequencies that are available at the next level of evolution or in the cosmic, cosmology. So divided by, so above this, included within the cycles of our own sentience, there's the different central frequencies, which by the processes of our senses create these emotional frequencies, and these different frequencies are the so there's four again here. There's mind frequencies, there's frequencies in the heart, frequencies in the soul and the will, and they're all related within the chain as well of so they're based, this is all based down, this is a lot of this work's coming from the principles discussed in Heinrich Cornelius Agrippa's 3 books of occult wisdom, where there's a describing there various, so this is sort of an evolution of his work, various dimensions, and how we are in this flat earth plane of existence where we can experience on this plateau, which also exists in other places within the cosmos. However, we are not using the technology to utilize the principle in a way that could be interesting. And so between this whole chaos and order dichotomy that exists, there are different parts within the cosmos where you have cycles that order has encircled the emotions of entropy, and the emotions of entropy then have evolved into other further areas where they can experience and express. Okay, but this leg of the cosmos, okay, then becomes broken away, yeah, and so it loses it becomes fixed and finite, yeah, it becomes solid, it becomes dead, yeah. And then there's other sections where the order has encircled the entropy or the chaos, and has managed to create a cycle in there that self-sustains or feeds itself as a battery, as a self-sustaining, to sustain that leg of the galaxy, and from that develop technologies from it as a way to expand or use other to then explore within the cosmos. And then this is where the section where I think we're talking now, where there's still the continuing cycle going forward between two principles, and then there's other sides of the galaxy where the entropy has managed to encapsulate a section of order, and use that order to give structure to larger sections of its universe, which it then has used to be able to explore other sections of the cosmos. And then there's areas where...
So what's the message?
Well, there's areas where the entropy has outcircled the order, and there's areas there's no order there, and there is different, different consciousnesses that have developed for different things in that principle. Okay, so this is just giving you a fair idea of the cosmic landscape. Okay, and so on this planet, on this Earth, on this plane, yeah, there are different regions within this plane where humans have evolved, yeah, or where life has evolved to this, in this structure, yeah, where life is expressed in this structure, yeah, and there are other places where it's expressed in other structures, yeah, but this is where other ways in this, that this sentience has evolved, yeah, that develops that develops the frequencies it is doing. It can create. So there are a number of other frequencies it can create, and they will have their own dynamic charge, which is relative to the next bubble thing.